Hey everybody, welcome to the Kill It With Fire review. This is the first time I'm doing a full kind of face cam onto the YouTube, so it's a bit new for me, but it's the second review on the channel. It's part of an ongoing series where we kind of review Game Pass games, any ones that are kind of new. If they've been out for a year or 2 years as a game and then come to Game Pass, we probably won't cover them unless we just really enjoy them on the channel and just feel like it deserves a little extra credit. Maybe it's a small game that hasn't got a lot of coverage because we're mainly focused on the small games. But if a big game comes to Game Pass, we'll still review it and it's new. It's just as a small creator, it's very hard to grow when you're up against such big competition. So we're trying to stick to the more niche stuff for now, but of course we'll still cover other big games as well. So starting off, we'll just describe kind of what the game was like. I went into this game very similar to the last review, believing I wasn't going to enjoy this game because I hate spiders, and it's a game about killing spiders where they're running around the place, and it's the small spiders, and the smaller the spider, kind of the more I hate it. Because it's just like I hate the idea of any sort of bug crawling on me. Just does not go well up here. So it's that's what I started out thinking. It's a spider game. So we get in, or kind of an extermination game. So we get in, and all of a sudden there's all these puzzles to be completed on the first kind of solo quest. And so now I'm like, oh, it's a puzzle game and it's an exterminator game. And then as me and my friends play more, we go, it's a puzzle game, it's an exterminator game, and now it's full of mini games. And there's like a horror element too. Like there's like a little, definitely in the first kind of quest area, there was a horror element. And like in some of the other elements of the game, there was horror, like some of the missions, because it kind of breaks it down. They call them dimensions, but it was more like, a level or a mission. And some of them did have a little bit of a scary-ish element to them. Again, the graphics aren't anything that you're going to get actually scared about, but if you don't like spiders, this game is going to freak you out a little bit. As someone who doesn't, I'm not like have a great fear, but a small fear, and enough that it was like at times creepy. As we played more and more, I got less and less bothered by the spiders. As you do with most horror or any sort of horror game, the more you play it, the less kind of scary. The first hour or 2 hours are initially kind of scary, and then after that, you're like, I'm not bothered. So that was kind of our initial sort of impression that we got. Because I was playing it with my friend Eaton. It is up on the channel if you want to go check it out. And if you're new here, please like and subscribe. We are a new and growing channel, and every little helps essentially. If you've ever had a dream of being a YouTuber, then we're on the same path, and hope you can come along the journey with us. But putting all that aside, let's speak about the pros. So really fun with friends. I wouldn't probably have played this game on my own, and that's where I would say if you don't have any friends to play with, unless you're really into puzzles, I probably wouldn't bother with this game. It is kind of one of those games you need a friend to play with. It just makes it more fun. Two brains are better than one, so if you are stuck on a puzzle or you can't figure something out, you've got the other option. There's a good variety of gameplay kind of across it, and by that I mean there was so many different mini games going on and different elements of gameplay happening. There was shooting, there was solving puzzles, you were exterminating, you were taking things out with flamethrowers. I was driving a tank at one point and blowing up buildings. It was like it was like somebody took 20 games and tried to put it into one game, and it actually worked, which I didn't expect it to. It was just an absolute ball. And if you go and watch the video, the first 5 minutes were tough to get through because it's us just trying to get into the game. But once we're into it, like, it really is a really fun game, and I had a great time, especially because of the variety of things you're actually doing across the game. Nice simple art style, nothing crazy. I'd give the art like 7, 6, just standard, but not bad, not overly amazing, but kind of it suited the feel of the game, and I think it worked well for the physics engine and stuff like that, because the graphics weren't too demanding. So for my PC, I had no problems chucking items around the place because there was a lot of stuff moving, a lot of moving items and stuff, and there's constant particles all over the screen. So if you maybe had a lower end PC, this would have been a struggle. For someone with a decent PC, I had no problems, ran into no bugs, and everything ran super duper smoothly for me and my friend, who he also has a good PC. So again, you would kind of need to run it on a lower end PC to see if that was a problem. I think finally, like, it was just funny. Like, the game had funny moments. Wasn't like you were going to be laughing out your seat kind of funny, but it's hard to do that in a game. It's very rare you get that from anything. Like, you're more just going to get a giggle. But it did have funny, interactive, good moments throughout the game, and the horror element was just there enough that, you were kind of like just scared a little bit, where you kind of, when you get that kind of scare and then you have a bit of a laugh about the fact that you got scared. It was kind of just there, just enough. But again, not so scary that if you hate horror games, you couldn't play this. And same with the puzzle element. Like, the puzzles were complicated enough that you had to think about some of them or figure them out, but not complex enough that I was genuinely sat there for half an hour trying to figure out. I mean, at one point there was a puzzle that took us absolutely forever to figure out. But then the game was just like, do you want the easy version of this? And we were like, yes. And that was really nice, because it didn't, like, we probably, in a different day, especially if I'm playing by myself, that's just me quitting the game because I can't figure out a puzzle. And I think that's my biggest gripe with puzzle games, is you're playing them and, you know, you're doing fine first 2-3 missions, you're like, I'm good, I'm great at puzzles, and you get to a really hard one, and all of a sudden you need to have like the understanding, a complete understanding of everything to just figure this puzzle out, and it's like, you've lost me. So this game kept the puzzle simple. We didn't complete the whole game in our live stream, but we got a few hours in, normally to a point where a puzzle game gets so hard that it's not enjoyable for me anyway. And this one, it didn't feel like that, and it didn't feel like it was going that route, because some of the quests weren't about puzzles, or some of the missions weren't about puzzles. So it was, again, plenty of puzzles, but not entirely focused on puzzles. So if you like simple puzzles and not overly complex ones, this is the kind of game for you. And overall, like, that is what I would say is, like, after everything I talked about, simple but fun. That's the element of the game. A real variety of simple but fun elements, and nothing overly complex. And I think that worked really well for this game. It didn't try and be anything it wasn't. It tried to be everything it could be, and just kept it simple in that regards, and it worked really well. The cons, my list here, I have like a little note sheet in front of me of all my stuff so I can remember. The cons were quite a small list. A little bit too much text. So you talk to the computer, Darwin, and I did just find there was a little bit too much text going on that you had to read and like click through all the text. And that got a little annoying at times. So that was an enjoyable element. Again, not a big complaint, but just something that I'm like, I don't think I would have put this much text in, because it was just slightly like, oh, you got a bit fed up clicking all the buttons and reading it as well. The levels, a little bit long, I would say. Definitely we were on the skyscraper level where you're going around destroying the city, which, if you're a psychopath, by the way, you would love this, because you hear little spider people running around and screaming as you burn down their entire city and kill them all. It's kind of psychotic. I suppose a psychopath will definitely enjoy this element of the game. But also, it did go on too long. I think if they just cut that mission down by like 10-20 minutes, it would have been perfect. But when I was watching back the stream, I was even like, oh, this is going on quite a while. And there was a lot of tedious quests to complete. A lot of like, do this many things and burn this many billboards and collect this many hats. And it was like, that was not a strong suit of the game. So that was kind of a weak level for me. And maybe when I play some other levels later, I might come back with that same complaint. But for me, I look at these reviews and go, they're for Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, 100% give this game a go. You're already subscribed. Would I recommend buying this game? I'd watch my review and do a little more research and then come back, and I'd watch other people's reviews. And maybe I shouldn't promote other channels, but no, it's true. Like, I think the first few hours were amazingly fun, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. Is it worth hopping in if you have Game Pass? Yes, absolutely. And again, if you have friends to play it with, do it 100%. My final criticism, and again, quite a small one, any sort of melee weapon, the newspaper, the clipboard, I found it quite frustrating to hit the spiders. The guns were grand, you know, I'm a relatively okay at aiming, so shooting the spiders was fine, but they were really small, and if you shot or you swung, even if you didn't hit the spider, it would still run away at like super speed, so it was very difficult sometimes to actually hit them, which, you know, it made the game hard in a small aspect, but I don't know if it was a fun hard, you know, like, so a game can be difficult, and there's fun difficulty, and then there's unfun difficulty, and I think it might have fallen into the unfun category on that one. But other people might have a different opinion on that. Maybe that is just the right amount of difficulty, but especially for the city, when we were going around having to kill hundreds of spiders, it was a bit like, here I'm getting a bit fed up with trying to shoot all these tiny little objects on my screen. But overall, I would give the game a 7 out of 10 to maybe like a 7.5. It was very, very fun. And I would, as I said throughout the video, I totally recommend it. I'm really glad if anyone's gotten to the end here that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, leave your thoughts down in the comments. I have to say this as a new YouTuber, someone starting out with friends. Every comment means like 100 things to me. Like, recently we've been uploading some shorts and some videos, and we've been getting comments, and it's just meant so much. And like, we're only on like 9 subscribers after, while I've recorded this. And, you know, I see like this wouldn't change if I had 10,000 subscribers. Like, seeing people actually interact with and have like opinions on the stuff we upload feels amazing. So if you do have any thoughts, please leave them down in the comments. I will read them, and I most likely will respond to them, even if they're super negative and nasty. This is kind of the first video I'm going to try and edit somewhat. Me and the lads who run the channel were very busy, so, or at least we have like jobs, and I'm in college, and so we're trying our best, but I think we're doing well. Look, I'm kind of waffling on, so hopefully enjoy the content. Thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, 100% give it a check. Kill It With Fire 2 would recommend.